Motherfucker.
What's happening today, everybody? Hey, look, I want to talk about this Longbow Synthesis that I recently got. I guess I'm going to be one of those guys, dude. I don't know. I guess we like to talk about weapons that we find to be good. Surprisingly enough, with this sniper, I can actually snipe now. Fellas, before we get started, though, man, if you could slap that like button, that really helps me out a bunch. Man, it'd be nice if we can hit up to 500 likes. Those are the kind of things that really help my channel out a bunch. So if you could hit that, that'd be great. So without further ado, guys, let's get started. Alright, so let me brag on this one real quick, fellas. I got short gauge, triple tap, snapshot, hot swap. Snapshot is a pretty nice perk to have, man. I mean, once you go from playing without it for a while, you can get used to not using it. But I used to have snapshot on my 1,000 yard, and I got so used to it, especially with that SL10. And so I was using that a bunch. Now this is of course with short gauge, so it's a lot snappier, especially with snapshot combined with it. Triple tap, which is a perk that I don't think needs to be overlooked. As far as I know, it hasn't been patched. It seems to proc a lot more than what it should, given the given the readout right here, landing precision hits. It's almost like mulligan in a way. Mulligan procs a lot more than probably what it should as well. Hot swap, dude. Hot swap. If you're like me, I like to swap between my primary and my secondary a bunch. And hot swap is freaking nasty, man. I mean, I think it's honestly the nastiest perk to have on your sniper rifle. So many people are reaching out and they want to get hidden hand. Dude, hot swap is disgusting as far as being able to land those shots. Okay, so let's talk perks, man. I know I've just introduced my sniper and I called it a god roll. But we see a lot of videos, man. There's a ton of videos out there that says, hey, man, this is my god roll weapon. And, you know, I take a look at them every now and then. I'm like, wow, it's a little far from god roll there, but you know what I mean. But you know, it's whatever, you know, that if it works for them, it works for them. And that's kind of what I want to get across to you guys. If you find something work for you, hey man, keep using it. You know, a lot of people don't actually like short gauge. They like to use other scopes, man. Some people really love rocking out, you know, Hawkeye or something like that. Hey man, that's completely up to you. Whatever works for you, use it. But you know, at the same time, I'm gonna give you my experiences and tell you kind of like what works for me best. So I like short gauge the most, pretty much, because I normally play up close and kind of more aggressively on the sniper end of things. I'd say if you're more of a passive player, you might want to play with SLR10. It's got, you know, higher magnification at 5.2. It is it's a little more forgiving as far as playing back more and being the more passive sniper. So that's something to just keep in mind. Short gauge to me is something, if you really, short gauge ambush, one of those things you like to really play up close and on top of people and aggressively. Short gauge is where it's at. Now let's talk ADS, ready, and away. Okay, these are numerical values I got here off of Crucible Playbook, guys. If you're not affiliated with this subreddit, I highly suggest checking it out. It's very educational. If you see the numerical values here, guys, like the first one with no attachments, 13, 6, 11, these are the amount of frames it takes to actually ADS, which is of course aim, ready the weapon, and away the weapon, which is of course going back to your primary. Essentially, the lower the number, the better is what you need to be looking at. And so with snapshot, you know, it's got question marks right here, 11, 6, 11. It doesn't really have any input on that. We'll get back to that in just a second. But quick draw, I want to go ahead and point out that that's, you know, definitely lower as far as your ready and away times. That makes a difference, especially if you've got somebody that's resin and you got to get your sniper out real quick. Say you had your primary on. There's been many times that I wish I had quick draw on my sniper. I actually got a quick draw on another sniper, another longbow that I use from time to time. But I'm just saying that that's something that you might want to keep in mind when picking out. I see so many people kind of just land on snapshot. Now, where do I see snapshot really being taken advantage of? Again, you can use snapshot on any sniper across all of your classes, but I find just the godliest combination is having Blade Dancer with quick draw perk activated and snapshot on your sniper. That is insane. And if you look at that right there, Blade Dancer plus snapshot, 9, 4, 8 question marks, but that's pretty much significantly lower than what you have across the board. You know, your ready and wait times are pretty much the same as it would be with quick draw, but what you need to take note of is that 9 ADS combined, you know, all of that combined with one another. I mean, it's just very fluid. There's a reason why I like Steel Piercer with snapshot, and I like to go from when you use my Blade Dancer with that quick draw perk. It's so instantaneous. You see where I'm coming from? You scope it in. So again, guys, my input on that is if you rock any class other than Blade Dancer, my most sought out perk would be quick draw. If you rock Blade Dancer all the time, and I'm sure you rock quick draw with it, snapshot. I know that seems like common sense, but I'm just telling you, that's how in my mind what I feel like the tier system needs to go. That's kind of how it flows for me. And so just keep that in mind, guys. You know, of course, the last perk, fellas, you know, I like Hidden Hand is actually pretty decent to have on it. You know, but Hidden Hand to me is not as strong as Hot Swap. Again, I find Hot Swap to be the nastiest. I got a friend named Expel who's actually in our clan. He's been working on it right now, and he's saying that the jump snipes with Hot Swap activated is so consistent than of course without it. And so he's saying nearly 100% accuracy there. And so that's something, if you've ever tried to jump snipe, you notice that the reticle might be on the person's head, and then you miss. But that's just, you know, that's because you can't really jump snipe anymore. The jump snipe is an issue, but with Hot Swap activated, it procs and it works. And he was saying it was working for him 100%. He was able to land the reticle on the guy's head, and it would snipe. So that takes jump sniping to a whole new level. Hot Swap, I think, is an overlooked perk because a lot of people forget they even have it. They get a sniper, they go, okay, I'm gonna try this Hot Swap, and then you only get 5 seconds pretty much, and then the thing goes away, and somebody, you don't really get to use it. You know what I mean? You got to remember that you even have it. Some people ask me, man, why do you swap between your primary and secondary? It's because I have Hot Swap. I am constantly trying to make sure it's proccing at all times, and I want to keep rotating that into my weapons whenever I get ready to use my sniper. So that's just something to keep in mind. Well, fellas, thanks for coming and watching, and just remember, no matter how good your sniper rifle is, you still can't hit a sumbitch standing freaking still.
Fucking dick!